Hey guys, I'm gonna be talking about Logic's new album that he put out, which is Ultra 85. I didn't know much about, Logic within himself with like how he just makes his own music and own things and everything, but I do know that he has made some pretty not one hit wonders, but like really catchy music. So I did listen to him here and there. Haven't listened to anything fully lengthy of a project than what he released with Ultra 85, which is a direct sequel of the Incredible True Story, which I have not, taken myself the time to listen to. So I thought it was just like a brand new whole album. But coming from this album, like listening to it of its entirety and everything, this is a pretty really divisive and like a really good album to listen to. I feel like he has such a unique artistic style and the flow of how he just makes his music in this album. It's really unique in my opinion, and I gotta say he is pretty ahead of his time because there's only like two songs from this album that is a direct call and a reference towards his previous album, The Incredible True Story, which of Deja Vu, which was Faded Away, and then the what was it? It was the Intermission, and it's Interstellar for this one with like the same person and everything. So it's just like wow, like this guy not only like not copying his own style, but just going back to how he is before with some of those songs referencing, before. So it does have a really cool story with Steve Blum being one of like the ship's captains or whatever. You got no, not Steve, Kyle, and like two AI people, or an AI voice lady, and this new robot. That's probably like the cover of the album, which is the new Android or whatever. Just talking about mostly with pop culture, music, and basically like life stuff and everything. There are some skits and everything, which is really nice to break the tension. If listening to the album of its entirety with songs isn't like what people want. There is some skits there and there that just breaks the ice, breaks like the tension that it has with the consistency of like the songs that he has put out in this album, which is 20 fucking songs, pretty lengthy, and I really do appreciate it just listening to it all beginning and end. Gotta start with Paul Rodriguez because man, this one was pretty lengthy to be almost like 6 to 9 minutes. I really enjoy listening to all of it. The beginning with the intermission and everything, making a public service announcement and just going with the beat. It just has such a really nice intro, and I just love the switch up. It's just really good. This man has nothing to hold back with his lyricism, man. I don't know too much with Logic personally of like the controversies, him being white and whenever he says the N word, I really don't care about that. I just really care about his artistry as an artist. And Paul Rodriguez is a really good start to this album. Following with Mission Control, my bad. It really has nice piano elements, and I just love it. The T Man Wizard, dude, has some really nice verses to spit on there too. But it's just like that piano is just so rich, man. I just love hearing that every time the song starts. And then Deja Vu featuring DJ Drama is so good, man. When this was first came out, like when I saw a recommended single from Logic and it was Deja Vu, I decided to listen to it. The first thing it came to mind when I listened to it, this is like such a like a braggadocious hype up song about himself and just him tearing himself just a little bit, that he got anxiety, don't care what anybody says, and that he is what he is and he's standing on business type shit of a music. And I just love it. I just love the beat so much, and it just feels like listening to it every time it just hypes you up more and more. I don't know if it's just like a me thing, but I just enjoy it every time. Fear is such a vibrant song, man. It's just so poppy and everything, and I just love it. And especially with the music video that's tied into it, it's so good too. It's it's just so poppy, and I love it. Uh, I can't know how to spell this one. It's Favla. I don't know how to say it, but it's not that bad. It's more of like a retro style beat that has some cultural references that he spits out on here, and that's really nice with his wordplay. Just making some callback references to like fictional characters and everything. I'm like, that's pretty nice. Like I don't get to hear that a lot with rappers who uses some cultural references or pop culture from like TV shows, movies, and media, but Logic does it here, and it just more so feels like a retro song looking back before with probably his just personal life with these lyrics, and it does hit pretty well. Garden 3 has such a weird chopped up production. It's all right for me, but I just didn't like how it just sounded. But the lyrics were just okay. Wasn't anything too crazy. Ghost Machine, it has so much great symphony and production. It's so great. I just didn't like the lyrics in it. I don't know. It's kind of weird because I only like one aspect of it, and it's just like that production, and that's what Logic does in this album. His production and everything in this album are just so on point and everything. It just feels so for this one. It just feels so great, and it just felt like the lyrics just wasn't really flowing in nicely of how I wanted it to. Interstellar wasn't really a good song for me. It just felt like more of an interlude than anything. It didn't felt like him just rapping or anything. I feel like it just felt more of like if he just made it as an interlude more than a song. Probably that's what it is, and he just renames it Interstellar instead of an interlude. But wasn't really it for me. It's all right for how it is as a song, but I just felt like him rapping over that type of beat just didn't feel right to me. It just again felt more like an interlude song than anything than a rapping song, if that makes any sense. In retrospect, is really good. It's just like Fiva, but with just better production. Basically the same thing, just making more so retrospective aspects that he's reflecting on in his life and everything. But the production is just so great. I just love the beats that he's using there. 44 Ever is a good rap song with a good beat too. Hey, 44, 44. Like, when he just says that, it's just like, man, like, how do you say that? Like, straight face without a stutter. That's just really impressive to me. But the beat is just, again, like more of a braggadocious song, and that he doesn't really need his critics or whatever, just really cares about his fans, which I really like because he's being more not too much cocky, but not too much humble, if that makes sense. He's just like being slightly like right there, but just more so of like, I love my fans, so fuck everybody else of what they think. And then Love Me, Love Me, it just felt like a sequel, a direct sequel towards 44. It just has so much good drums. I love it. That was just literally the best part of the song. Sequel to 44 Ever, but the production was just kicked up to more so to use the drum aspects so much more, and I just love it. Like I love like tapping my fingers to match like the drums that's been used. It's like like something like that. I know it's not the prime example of how I'm trying to make a sound from the song, but I just love it. Love it so much. Love Me is really good. Just those drums are just so on point, and that's what I like with listening to instruments and everything. When they have such a good symphony and flow, you just can't help it but just like to go along with it. If that makes sense. Teleport has probably the best production here. Like by far, I think it has the best production out of any of the songs in this album that I'm talking about so far. I just love how it just sounds so out of like I don't know how to say it. It just has like that outer spacey feel. Like it's a handbanger of just like having everybody for him to tell everybody to get off his back. But I just like how I don't know like the right words. It just feels like a euphorical type of song that just like you would I don't know like you would close your eyes to it and listen to it, like your outer spacey feel. I don't know, like you're traveling in the galaxy. I don't know, like that's how I feel about this production. And then with the lyrics too, I felt like it was just on par with it, especially with the beat. You're like zzz, zzz, zzz. Even though it's like one of the key things I like about it, it's not like the most groundbreaking thing of him saying on this album, but I really just enjoy more so the production aspect. And when he switches over to, I guess, like maybe the first quarter or half to the song, just keeps on rapping, and with the unique melodic flow that it has, it just feels so, I don't know, really vivid to listen to in this one. But I gotta give compliments with the music video too, because this man knows how to make great music videos to tie in with his songs. So with Antidote, it has good production, and I do love the beat. But what really kills it for me with listening to Antidote is just literally just the feature. I really don't like the feature. Like I have no, I have nothing against like the said feature artist that was in there. It just really just ruins it from his verse and his take in that song. It just wasn't really it. If it was just Logic by himself in Antidote, I would have liked the song a whole lot more. But with that feature that really doesn't really sound right to me, it really just kills it for me to like wanting to go back to listen to Antidote even more. Moving on to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, has a really good production, and the flow is so more. I guess it's just more important. Like in this one just takes more of a aspect with the production and the flow, and it's really good. Gotta give compliments, man. It's really good stuff here that Logic is putting out. Peace, love, and positivity is just telling his struggles, and he says the N word a lot, a lot, but he just keeps it real and afloat with everybody of just himself and telling people, hey, no more of like discrimination of how I am and all that good stuff. Really more so of like a self reflect humbling song, I guess, in this one than it is with not with 44. It's another one with Viva and Introspective too. And moving on to City in the Stars, Robert Ivory really carried a lot. I gotta give props to this man to like to even like I like this makes Antidote so much fucking better in comparison, man. Because you really gotta think with his take on how he's just putting in cities in the star just feels so monolic and so soothing. Like this is one of those songs, in my opinion, guys, that you would literally love to listen to during a night drive. This is just one of those songs that just feels so fucking right, man. To have those late night car drives, it's really one of the best I would think of all time. The production is just so good, and I just love his I think not his monologue, but his backup vocals. Yeah, Robert Irony's vocals, and then when it switches over to Logic, just keeps that same energy just throughout the whole song. It's just such a for me. It's such a shame that I really want this song to be so much longer than it is, with like almost 4 to 5 minutes of it. But it's just like, man, it just feels so mesmerizing, euphoric in my opinion, and just overall a nice like lo-fi type of song that I would listen to. And that's just really impressive for Logic for that. And his last and final song, Thank You for Believing in Me, is another great production, and it does have some symphony in there and some choir that he has put onto this one, which is really nice. You don't really see people putting different types of elements in their music that too often, especially when you're making a different type of sound, a unique sound of your own. I like how he just does it in this one, because this overall album, again, in my opinion, it's just more so of him pushing his creative direction into production, lyricism, and overall adding some new elements into it. So I'm pretty glad that this one has some of those elements, has guitars too. I really love that aspect that he put in there, and it also comes really nicely together, just like a whole complete package of just how it just sounds overall beginning to end. So Logic has really done himself here with this album, and I think I would recommend this to being one of the most I guess album of the year, or even being nominated to having one of the best productional sound qualities of all time so far in 2024. Not saying that this is like the best album. There's other candidates I think that could win the title for that, but it does have some potential to be album of the year. I wouldn't be upset of it because overall this quality, this fucking sound of a project that he's put out is really nice. I really do enjoy that. It wasn't really, there are some songs that were similar, but it was just too different within its own. If you just listen to it different songs out of order, you wouldn't think it would sound too similar, and it's just really overall unique in that way, and I just love it. Ultra 85 by far is my favorite album that Logic has put out, even though he has made other albums too. I'm not disregarding that, but this one is probably my top 3. Even though I haven't listened to any of his previous, records or anything sitting down, but with this one, it's just more so for me a good entry point for myself to get into listening to Logic more. Since I like Ultra 85, I'm gonna like the Incredible True Story. I'm probably gonna like his other stuff like Under Pressure or his Vinyl Days or any of that aspect, because man, if he is this good putting out an album in this time frame with that great symphonical production, I would feel confident enough to go back to his other catalogs and also take a listen to. I'll give this album a good solid 10 out of 10 in my opinion, even though there were some stinkers that wasn't really my favorite. But overall, I have to give it credit for his unique creative ability of how he's just putting his music in his own introspective way. And I gotta respect that as an artist, and not really like, I don't know. People can just talk shit about him as a person or whatever. I don't really care. I care about him as an artist. His artistry is on point, and if he's ever gonna make more music or retired, because I heard that he retired, then he came back. So it's like, come on, man, do retire or don't retire. It's like a choice here. But yeah. Anyways, guys, Ultra 85 is probably one of my favorites albums so far from Logic, and has some nominee potential to become album of the year or not, but it does need some recognition of its unique style and flow and all that good stuff. Just let me know what you guys think down below in the comment sections. If not, that's a-okay with me. But anyways, guys, my name is Sodio239, and I hope you all have a wonderful morning, night, day, evening, whatever the occasion is. Take care, stay safe, and all that good jazz. But anyways, guys, later.